Time is now. It's back to the rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent Daily Plant, the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Hold on a second. Let's do some rearranging here. That right there. That right there. That right there. Showing my new prop. All right. Here we go. So, what are we doing? We are going through the menu. I am going through the menu, which is right here. Okay. Number one, School Us album sales. So, I, for the second consecutive week, sold one of these. Thank you, my friend Leif up there at Wallingford. That's back-to-back weeks. I want to say thank you to you guys for supporting my efforts. That's been my number one place, I'd say, to sell albums over the years is my work. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. So hopefully he likes it. And yes, that's really nice. Okay. So I got a streak of 2 weeks in a row. Let's see if I can go 3 weeks in a row. And that's starting out the year. Those are my first two sales. So there we go. All right. So secondly, we get the country song. I have nothing to report on that today. Third, YouTube channel. Now I just noticed this is why it's hard, if I could stay on the creative side and then have someone else do the technical, all that, or editing, even if it was like, if someone else was creative and I was just focused on the details, that's good too. It's just hard. So I screwed up and I had season 5, episode 23 for the last 2 episodes. Yeah, that sucks. But I could edit it here, but it doesn't get fixed when I go. I guess I could edit my old reels and stuff. I'll look at that, but not cool. But it is what it is. So I'm up here, got the Shoji screen, which has been approved for a backdrop. Yeah. And before we went live, my TikTok got 100 so far. We got up to 800 last week. And the Instagram got 240 or so. That was good. Things are going pretty good in that regard. So how much does this matter? Because that does matter. I've got this foot patch. Health-wise, this does affect things, right? I don't have to miss any work, thank God, but I do have to have a little patch on my foot. They say it can affect headache, so maybe I am getting a slight uncomfortable headache, but I'm gonna have to. This light does make a difference. So for the purposes of the show, I'm gonna have to gut it out. Not a terrible feeling, but it's not comfortable. Okay, so let's see. The short did good. Second or third best short, YouTube short. So that was nice. Good to see. The last show did pretty good. So yeah, if the short does good and then you add that to the show, then the viewership goes up dramatically. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. So I appreciate that. And we'll just see what happens this week on my shorts and YouTube. It's not a rhyme because I ended my song last week with just, I don't know if it's a plea or a request to just unify the party, but then why do I even think like that? Because now I see where, like Mike Pence, I mean, this is the challenge with people in general on this earth, is our ability to compartmentalize, and you couldn't do a better job of compartmentalizing than Mike Pence, where he's proud of his record as the vice president, and he wanted to run on that record against Trump. and he'll talk about, well, he seems to be back shying away from his stance on life and this and that. These are all things being thrown out. You know what I mean? It's as if you haven't been around him enough to know if he's negotiating a situation or trying to work. He's working on deals. You know, he's working on deals, and so nothing's final. It's not going to change his position. But that's the thing I've noticed is people when they listen to President Trump, that they'll take what he says exactly as the end point as opposed to positioning, you know, which a lot of people do that kind of thing, right? So anyhow, that's interesting. So that's kind of where I went to end this song. And again, now Governor Kemp in Georgia is not in Washington, D.C. So in theory, he's maybe not a swamp creature to the max, but these folks, the establishment people, if you're in the club, you're in the club. So there's tons of blind spots there. And if I want to be charitable, I'll say it that way. Okay. But anyway, that's how I ended this song. So my rhyme was not a rhyme. It was just a statement. So we'll see how that goes. Because I kind of, in a way, I'm not happy that it went that way because I do think I have pretty good momentum with these shorts and reels and stuff, but that's okay. Let's just see what happens. It is what it is. I can't put it back. And again, we don't know what's going on with TikTok. I didn't hear what happened this past week. I heard midweek, but I don't know what the latest is. Saw Marjorie Taylor Greene on with Alex Jones talking about, well, the discussion they're having is they're setting up the next justification for, let's say, Biden losing, being that not just a Russian collusion, this time it'll be Russian-Chinese collusion, that Trump would have colluded with both Russia and China with the help of TikTok to steal the election. That's kind of what they're putting out there. So that's good to be ahead of that. You know, that's what. So, but then it's like, well, if you get rid of TikTok, how does that happen? You know, it doesn't happen if you get rid of TikTok unless you're saying that you're trying to get rid of them. You're not really trying. So I don't know. Don't know about that, but I don't know. It's just interesting because TikTok's clearly a young person's platform for sure. And you can talk about the creative element. It's kind of an equal opportunity place to get your name out there. And if you take that away, you're losing supporters in theory from the Democrat side. So I don't know, but we'll see what. I'm just not sure what the latest is. All I can tell you is I'm still putting out the reels on Instagram, their shorts on YouTube. I don't even know what they're called on TikTok. Video, something. Okay. Nothing to share with rules of engagement. Bellevue Ballers. So making some moves, not tons of moves. Job wise, I started a new route. I did get the new route. So I'm starting the new route on Saturday. We'll see what that looks like in terms of everything. But I don't know if it'll affect how much music in the short term. I don't think that affects me musically too much positively or negatively. We'll see. The route's certainly more manageable from what I know of it. Okay, so music, we're back to the rhymes. I should mention that I talked to Alex this week, and he referred me to somebody, a young fella, 17-year-old guy who's got a group called Yellow Petaled Flowers, and him and the two other guys, they got a band, and they don't need my help, that's for sure, but he was just looking for opportunities to play where they could perform, especially all ages. So I turned them on to some of the open mic situations. I didn't make the open mic at the Bulldog News because I just couldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. I'm working in the area of faith and stuff, and there's a synagogue, and I got there. It was just going to be too hard. I'll just say next time. But yeah, we'll just stop with that. So, all right. And I got the performers Ezekiel Bones, and I could talk about them in a second. I haven't talked to them yet. So merch, we got the merch. I don't got the mods, but I do got the merch. Okay. So yeah, Trump's gonna dump. I'm kind of like I said, we got the song talking about it. Got the whole thing with Pence and all that. It's not a surprise, Romney. It's interesting. I guess you would say it's an interesting thing that when you can say that Mike Pence is a never Trumper officially. He was an in the closet never Trumper as the vice president. Can you believe that? I mean, that's legitimate. Because here, let's just break it down. When you look at the primary, and you had all the candidates, including Trump, who never showed up to a debate and he didn't need to. But as the candidates dropped out, they threw their support behind Trump, with the exception of Pence, apparently. I don't know, Chris Christie. I can't remember if I heard. I don't think he did either. Nikki Haley's not. Tim Scott did. DeSantis did. It makes sense for DeSantis. DeSantis, the thing is they want a political future is what it is. And again, if you're in the establishment, you have a political future, and that's as an establishment person. There is a future for sure. But I mean, it's just very interesting because they're career politicians. So there's definitely a future for them. Okay. And it's a career actually. So there you go. All right. So yeah, like I said, you got the Ezekiel's Bones. I just love to hear what they're doing, singing and whatnot. I didn't have the opportunity to connect with them, but I'm getting to know, well, Will's one friend. And if you didn't notice, going back to my YouTube channel, we did Saving Rabbi Yeshua, which will be the next thing. I've shared my latest hip hop compilation about 55 plus times. So I'm over the halfway point. I'm about a week behind on the per day. I hope I don't fall too far behind, but one of the challenges I'm having is that whereas virtually everything else I would share, I can share with anybody, but because of the explicit language in this, on some of these songs, I have to figure out who I would share it with. Now, if it's just even hip hop, but see if it's my album, which is my plan, I have this, I did with Will next, and then my album on Spotify, which let's try it again, Ralph. Spotify, see if I can do it and remember to ask him. That's going to be the next one. And then I got a ton of other possibilities beyond that. But going forward, like I said, at my advisor's request, she said I should do it, even though I don't really want her to hear it or all of it, but I did it, and if I can find enough songs, I'll do number 14, but that's what I got for sharing. But yeah, you will be glorified, nothing new there. Current events, I heard someone got shot at Garfield. It's tough because my daughter, she's in an online school, but if you don't make the grade, I don't want to have to send you to the public school, but what if you don't give us a choice? What are we going to do here? It sucks though. I think she knows the situation, but I mean, it's her choice. It's just exhausting trying to remind her to do stuff, some people work better in a classroom environment, with a less rigorous amount of work, I guess you would say would probably be about right. But anyhow, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's what's going on. I thought I was going to talk about something else. Maybe I read that they had a forum for public safety and they don't take questions. They just tell you what they're going to do. This is not good leadership. I think everyone knows that. But again, and we just delivered the democracy vouchers this week. It's rigged. I mean, you're a grassroots person. Really? How's that going to go? You better really, I mean, when these council elections come up and mayor, and I think it's probably best to, really the pathway to become mayor should become a council person first. You got to get behind, you have all these people running, right? You got to get behind a kind of like in DC politics or statewide politics, you have the establishment candidate and you have the grassroots candidate. Well, the same thing needs to happen in city council level. You need to have a grassroots candidate to run against the establishment candidate who's going to get all the support of the unions and whatnot. And that's got to be the goal. So there should be more of a strategy for picking out somebody to go up against the establishment candidate, one who's committed to listening to the people, and that's just never going to happen. Why does an establishment politician need to listen to the people? The people didn't put them in there. The unions did, or whoever put them in there, all the what do they call them? The PACs, the special interests. That's why they're there. Why do they need to listen to the citizens? That's the game, right? So I'm gonna get back to the rhymes of a new song. I guess I didn't recite this old song, and so yeah, I was talking about that, but when I heard Pence on there, it's kind of like, am I just wasting my time talking about this? I probably am, but that's kind of my hope. At least to win the election, and get behind, and just like I say, they couldn't lay a glove on Kemp in those primaries. They couldn't touch him. He must feel bolder and more emboldened than ever. So that's that. All right, so let's see. Let's start the song now. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll bust them out because that's the time to count it. Biden's bags of ballots. We got them in the shallot. When all man's down, we'll start the count. You know that we's about it. I think I finished this. Sorry, I apologize. I did this last time. I'm not doing it again. I did it already. I do recall. But that was the hook for y'all who haven't seen it. Let's go to the next song. Yeah, I remember that because I kind of finished it and I had extra time. Appreciate that. All right. And if you didn't see, so this is related to the next song. This is my thumbnail. Let's see how easily we can read this. This is from when I went to the doctor. See that? You see what that says on there? Can you get a good look at that? It says for women only. Okay, so I've kind of got a number of song ideas, but I'm just going to go with this because I was given by God a good idea as far as a name of a song. And it is called, and I will tell you the name, and I will give you a definition. So let me get this squared away 1 second. Hold on here. Okay, where do we have our, remove the paper clips. Oh, where are the paper clips? Here's some paper clips. I always clip the song together. Stay a little organized. Could use a little binder thing, but it won't stack as well. Let me make sure I got this all right. All right, so that is done. So, again, this, just like the grassroots understands really the unfairness of going up against the establishment, and it's an uphill battle, even though you ask the average person, they favor the grassroots concept, but you just know it's tough. And so that's kind of what we're dealing with here. Most people, even people who are Democrats or whatever, understand that. What was that? OBGYN, women only, things like date of last period, date of last pelvic exam, date of last pap smear. Yes, no, are you pregnant or possibly pregnant? Yes, no, breastfeeding. Okay, these are questions are for women only. Yeah, duh. Duh. That's as obvious as can be, right? Maybe not. So the song title is this. Put that away. Binary. I thought of this one as that Swedish. Orthodoxy. I hope I'm spelling that right. I'm going to look them up. Orthodoxy. Orthodoxy. Now, I went to the sports medicine there. They have a flat. First of all, they want you to wear a mask. Okay. Throughout the whole hospital, not everyone's wearing a mask. Let's just get an update on this one. All right. We're not all wearing masks, but we go into the sports medicine. Now we're wearing a mask. Okay. I've worked so hard to get this, and they're going to take care of me, I hope. Finally, I've got a treatment plan for my foot after 2 years and 9 months. Yeah, we tried the physical therapy. It didn't work, but we got a treatment plan. I don't have to even miss work, thank God. But I do have to put on a mask. In addition, we have a big rainbow flag in the middle of a big power fist, black color fist, in the middle. It's kind of like that incoherence, right? Is it because rainbow is considered like a symbol of peace, and a fist is considered a symbol of what? I suppose you're standing up for your rights or your self-protection, but it's kind of an aggressive, you're blending the two. Okay, so these folks are by no means traditional, I suppose, but they haven't lost their way in this regard. They're still on it. Okay, so what is binary orthodoxy? What is the definition? I think we know binary pretty easily because they talk about non-binary, but binary, right? And I looked it up already on my phone, but I didn't look it up here, and I'll share it with you all, especially since it's the name of the song. Like I said, I had a couple names in mind, but I'm going to go with this because I like the name, the sound of it, the rhyme to the title. Okay. Binary, characterized by or composed of two different parts or components, twofold, of or based on the number 2 or the binary numeration system, a binary digit. Okay, in chemistry, consisting of or containing only molecules consisting of 2 kinds of atoms. That's number 3. Number 4, having 2 music sections or subjects. Something that is binary, especially a binary star. And by the way, is it Tali Kweli and Mos Def or something that they had binary star? Or I don't know if they had the group called that or something to do with those guys. 2 by 2 binarius Latin, especially a binary star. Okay, but anyway. So it pretty much means 2, right? Bi means that, right? Okay, how about orthodox or orthodoxy? What does that mean? Because I had the idea for the name, but I kind of wanted to confirm that it worked because it's not. These aren't words I use in my day-to-day language. Or so docs. Okay. Of course, orthodoxy. Orthodoxy is the quality or state of being orthodox. All right, orthodox. Adhering to the accepted or traditional and established faith, especially in religion. Adhering to the Christian faith as expressed in the early Christian ecumenical creed. Should I look that one? Adhering to what is commonly accepted, customary, or traditional, orthodox. of or pertaining to designating any of the churches. Okay. Now the definition I saw wasn't so faith based. It more said just truth related to truth, just obvious. But that's okay. Let's just say it's that because in the end we're going from God's creation, creating a man, creating a woman. There it is. Okay, so and again, it's worldwide, it's universal, it's all that. And I was thinking about like neo-Darwinism. There's probably a definition for that because if you take, there's no evidence of species crossing. I haven't studied this extensively, but it just how would that go? How would that happen? It can't. Okay, so but I don't even want to get into that. Let's just say binary orthodoxy. All right, so I don't know how long the song's gonna be, but I just want to put it out. I just want to put the phrase out. Okay. Oh, so here's how the song starts. Men's lives matter. How's that? Women's lives matter. Don't nothing else matter. I guess I could say, is something the matter? With what I just said. And I wonder how you do this. Someone might have to help me on the musical part of it, but I got to say what I'm going to say. Is something the matter with what I just said? With, yeah, I got down the next line. So, I mean, it feels like a waste of time talking about it, but we deal with it, right? In particular, and I have a guest in mind for talking about the women's sports. I think that's where we see a lot of the most harm in some ways, but it's really a fringe element. But because very few they talk about gender neutral bathrooms, it's really fringe. It hardly exists. I think the problem is, I guess we could say acquiescing. Should I look that one up? Is there something the matter with what I just said? Acquiescing to insanity. Is there something the matter with what we just said? Acquiescing to insanity. Yeah, at least spell that right. Right at the top, I got my little reel for next week. I don't need a lot of lyrics. Okay. Acquiesce. To consent or comply passively or without protest. Okay. Is something the matter with what I just said? Am I supposed to acquiesce to insanity? No, not me. No, not hardly. Hard for me to see a reason to. Till next time, back to the rhymes.